two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, yeah. Start to the ending, whether it's the E or it's all Lee. The two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and Break Dude Denton. And this is our WWE Twin Day episode of Two Dudes. We did not plan this. For all those of you who are watching the video, we're both wearing our KO shirts. And for the same reason, because he's like getting that heel turn. We're like, let's represent KO. So funny. So funny. Yeah. I need to
we did not coordinate this. Yeah, I know.
No, I looked, the last batch was my Bloodline batch, and it's like, I'm like, all my shirts are like outdated now.
But the new shirts are so expensive. That's the
yeah, even 25% off. They're like still like $30. It used to be like $18.
And they're all like, oh, you get free shipping on this. I'm like, yippee! You know, like everything should be free shipping. It should always be free shipping.
100. I do not know how everyone has not gotten on the Amazon thing. How much you're selling a shirt for $35, which probably costs you $6 to make, and you're charging me $8 to ship it? Like, what the? Yeah. Shipping should only cost if I want it fast.
And I still have to wait until like 6 weeks to get it.
Oh yeah,
like the Roman Reigns OTC shirt. Like you still, I don't think you can buy that yet. I think you have to wait. Or maybe I think maybe when it came out at SummerSlam, and you had to wait until like Labor Day to get it. And I was like, "Are you serious?" So
yeah, but
you still got to pay for shipping.
But don't worry, I ordered my Dominic Mysterio toilet paper, so that's on the way.
Yes, sir.
All of a sudden, I'm going to start wiping the front side of my body. Here you go, Dom. Be gentle. But yeah, so we got a jam-packed show. By the way, if you don't know, go back. After you watch this live episode, check out our Mr. McMahon review. We review all 6 episodes, and I thought we gave some honest things, maybe some things that
good.
Might think I said controversial, but we gave out a good take and this and that. And so go check it out if you want to hear our views and opinions on a docuseries that we thought could have been better. And then 100%. Also, this Saturday is Bad Blood, y'all, and we are going to be live doing it. So come join our watch along. We'll have some fun, have some drinks, do some things, talk about, predict. Five good matches. I think it should be a fun match, and I'm excited to watch that Hell in the Cell to see how AEW they go. I'm assuming they're going to go some AEW, but we'll see. Yeah. But we'll get into that in our predictions. I didn't ask beforehand. Is there news or what's cooking? Nothing.
There's no news. Nothing major. There's a bunch of internet discourse about Triple H and the way he is booking African American superstars lately. There's some, somebody posted on X that the last time a black superstar and a black WWE male superstar had a singles match on TV was at Bobby Lashley against Austin Theory on Monday Night Raw in like 2022. And I'm like, come on now, like. First of all, it's not true. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley had a match at Elimination Chamber in 2023, but
and Xavier Woods just won this week, so that's already deserved as well.
But I think it was a PLE. That's what it is. It was a premium. It was at SummerSlam 2022. That was the last time a black wrestler's been featured in a PLE, and I'm just like male wrestler because but of course they don't include NXT in any of that, where you have Overcoming as your champion, Trick Williams is your 2-time champion,
Kalani Jordan. They have 3 black champions.
But that's developmental. That doesn't count. But somebody comes up from NXT and they lose the match. Well, they're a 2-time NXT champion. How can you treat them like that? How can you treat Johnny Gargano like? How can he lose to the Bloodline? He's a 2-time. So it counts when you're making that narrative, but it doesn't count when you're making your narrative. So it makes no sense.
Isn't Bianca and Jade Cargill the tag team champions right now?
Yeah, but they're not. They're the hosts. Why aren't they featured?
Okay, there's a whole bunch of people not featured. Why is Gunther not featured? How about Xavier Woods right now in one of the most intriguing storylines going on with Kofi Kingston and possible
Carmelo Hayes in a best of 7
Carmelo
series?
what are we doing here? We got to
R-Truth got turned on by the Miz, and
Yeah.
he's gonna have a he had a WrestleMania moment. There's like that everyone was excited for. I just don't understand.
Either.
Could they be booked better? Yes, absolutely. Everyone could. But to say that they're racist and that they're like, I feel like that's way, way inaccurate. I actually, WWE has been very diverse with their champions. I mean, Damian Priest is a Puerto Rican champion. Roxanne Perez is Hispanic and she's killing it right now.
She's not Asian?
I don't think so. Her last name, I mean, maybe I'm profiling.
Perez.
Yeah, I might be profiling.
She might be mixed. As you're talking about racism.
Oh my gosh. Live on the internet. Oh my gosh.
Honest mistake. But either way, look her up now. I guarantee she's like Giulia. I didn't know, and this can't be right. Like I saw Giulia and I was like, oh, she's Japanese, but she's like half British. I wouldn't have guessed that. Like we're all like, nobody knows what the heck I am, and I'm all sorts of things.
Yeah, she was born in Texas, Roxanne Perez. Her real name is Carla Gonzalez. So
so she's definitely Hispanic. Yeah, so you were wrong. But she has no her mom is an Asian.
She is of Hispanic descent and she was born to a Puerto Rican father and a Mexican mother. So
none. See, that makes me look bad. I always thought she had some sort of Asian in her. That's weird. I thought she was like
I did too.
Filipino maybe or something. She has that like I don't know.
But,
either way. But once again, but
get out of that one.
Right? But honestly, like I know this sounds stupid because racism is alive and well and racism is disgusting, especially towards the Black community of all people. I mean, all races are hated on and this and that. But I mean, we live in this country and it's disgusting. But of that sense, not the country itself. America's beautiful. I mean, like the racism in this country is disgusting. But with that said, I honestly don't look at it that way. The only time I ever notice things is when they're combining, right? Like I notice, once again, Kalani Jordan, which we'll go into, the Black champion, and she gets saved by the 2 tag team Black champions. And those are the type of things where I'm like, okay, do we have to always pit the Street Profits? Yeah. Like, do we have to do that? But I also feel that the wrestlers probably want that. The Black community likes to be strong together. They do feel like they don't get the fair shake, which is probably true in a lot of ways. So they probably want to be teamed together to show how dominant they can be as a one and as a whole and help each other grow. I don't see anything wrong with that. Nobody complains when there's 8 white people in a group together. Nobody's like, oh, Triple H is racist. Look at him putting all these darn white people together. It always has to be. But Triple H is a lot of things. He ain't perfect for one of them, and he's a lot of things. But racist, I don't think. I mean, I don't know him.
I think,
but racist, I don't. And I've never heard anybody say it. Right now, with everything going on with WWE, don't you think some people would stand up and say, yes, Triple H is a racist when he. So, I mean, I'm just so tired of the narrative that when you don't like something or you Google something that you can just run. Eric Bischoff on 83 Weeks made a perfect example of why people like Dave Meltzer and things like the internet are bad for the world, because
this is an example.
Once and once you spew something into the universe, people will think it. We and you talk off the record all the time about a lot of TikTok creators who do the same thing where they spew misinformation. And even if they only have 1,000 followers, 7,000 followers, those people that do listen will hear that and then run with it. Don't say things unless you know matter of fact. And it can ruin people's lives and careers in this. Like, what if this thing got big and Triple H got investigated and this and that? You know how draining that is on his family, on him, on the business. And then they find out it's not real, it's not valid, and you did it all. People, if you have something to say it, but give it as your opinion. Stop saying things as a matter of fact. And once again, don't call people calling people, unless they're an open racist. Like, don't call people racist. It's just really, especially on the internet, that's a bad accusation. And to be racist is especially if you're not, is a really hurtful thing to say to somebody.
Yeah,
it's 100%. Just not kind in any way.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have the conversation about Vince McMahon being racist, we can have that discussion. But Triple H, I mean, this man has done nothing but change the landscape of the WWE, change the way it's perceived, change the backstage culture in the WWE. And, but people, I still think people hold that blackface segment that he did with DX against him, even though that was a Vince segment, and Triple H was just punished for the curtain call. So he can't be like, hey, Vince, I'm not doing this, because maybe this time he gets fired because he was supposed to win King of the Ring. and now and now and then they also hold the segment of Booker T. He held Booker T down in WWE at WrestleMania, and I think they hold that against him. But again, that was also a Vince thing. But ever since he's been in creative, I feel like he's done a really good job with being multicultural, not just focusing on white people, black people, but all races, all cultures. I think he's done a good job, and I think he deserves credit for it.
I think, well, for one, Booker T seems like he really thought Triple H was racist. That the fact that he still works for the company, loves it, doesn't really say bad things about Triple H. You can tell how bad he was treated. And don't say Booker T is someone who would do it for the job and still get mistreated. Booker T is not that dude.
No,
Booker T is someone who
he
would
left
stand up for himself. 100%. Like, so let's stop with like that. But with that said, and I just want to end this because I also hate talking racism and all those things. But right now in WWE, I think is the most diverse it is. This is the most black champions we've had, other ethnic champions that we've ever had in the history of the WWE, and possibly all of professional wrestling. AEW ain't as diverse with their champions.
That's where this argument is coming from, is because Swerve was the first black African American champion in AEW history. What has Triple H done in the WWE? He lost Bobby Lashley in the Street and MVP and Shelton Benjamin, and he's done this, and he hasn't had a black champion. That's where all this discourse came from, is because Swerve, it was an AEW versus WWE thing. See, look at what AEW's and that's just furthering the whole tribalism thing and just all that stuff, and it's just got to stop.
Pro wrestling is so political right now, and what I mean is that it's just like the Republicans and the Democrats. Yeah. Well, the Republicans, AEW, and they're all blah 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 and blah 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 and WWE, and then there's all the WWE people who are the Democrat, and they're like blah blah blah. Yeah. Just like, and that's like me, right? I won't say what party I am or not am, but I feel like more than ever, I'm so more in the middle than I am, because both political parties have gone so backwards, radical, and that's the same thing with AEW and WWE. Just enjoy wrestling and shut your mouth. Hey, that's my boy, Patrick.
Wrestling. That's why.
Just enjoy. Exactly.
That's why I watch it. I watch it to get away and use it as an escape from all this stuff going on. So,
and if you're going to give an opinion, give a fair opinion. You can say, you watch my stuff, I say positives about AEW and WWE, and I say negatives. If I think it ain't cooking, I'm going to say it. But I also don't say a matter of fact. You know what I mean? Trick Williams winning the title again was stupid. The end. Nothing will come good of it because I'm Denton and I know all.
Ethan Page needs to leave immediately. Ray Phoenix he's not coming to WWE because of Tony Khan and his pettiness.
Oh my gosh. But even that got debunked, because even Penta and them said like half of it wasn't even true, which was being said. Didn't he just come out and say that? And then he's like, I love AEW. And then people are like, see, he loves AEW. Well, of course he's going to say that. He's still in AEW. He'll be gone in a year. Jeez. He's saying he loves it. Who goes to work and tells their boss they hate them? Like nobody. Like,
especially when I still work there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Now he works there. Of course he loves AEW, monkeys. All right, let's get into it. Let's go. SmackDown review, y'all.
SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown. Oh my gosh. Every time they showed it, I could not stop looking at it. I was like, all right, SmackDown. We had a pretty jam-packed SmackDown with a whole bunch of different things that have not happened in the past 3. Oh, wait, no, never mind. It's the same exact. I could literally just write one thing for the next ever for SmackDown. It's the same 4 people. The only difference is AJ Styles is returning, baby. So I'll just start with that right now. Next week, we got the return of AJ Styles.
What's he going to do now to get a match with Cody Rhodes? He faked a retirement last time we saw him. Now what's he going to
do? I don't know. We'll get there. All right, let's go. Randy Orton opens the show and wants to talk to Cody Rhodes. Out comes Cody Rhodes, and they both agree they need to end the bloodline. QKO, who gets no chance to say anything as the bloodline comes out to cut him off. Yeah. Solo. That was my impression of Homeboy.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Why does he do that? I don't know. All right. So basically, Solo says that Kevin Owens and Randy Orton have constantly failed to end the bloodline, and Cody shouldn't trust them. So we'll get Orton and KO versus Solo and Fatu later tonight, even though Cody wanted to make it a 3-way because it's not gay when it's in a 3-way. And Cody Rhodes was denied by Kevin Owens. He was like, not on my watch, sister. Nia Jax legitimately grabs the throat of Tiffany Stratton and threatens her and basically says, if something goes bad, it's going to go bad for you, girl. Bayley defeats Naomi fairly squarely and will face Nia Jax at Bad Blood. Carmelo Hayes attacks LA Knight backstage. Pretty hardcore. That was kind of a cool attack. It like came out of nowhere and all of a sudden LA Knight went flying. I was hoping he would never return. And then later on, then Carmelo defeats Andrade to tie the series at 3 apiece. And he actually got help from LA Knight. Yeah, but not on purpose. Yeah. Andrade wouldn't shake his hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then KO shrugs off Cody Rhodes in the back, and Randy tells Cody, if it gets bad out there, we would love you to have our back. I wonder if that's hinting at anything. Let's see. Oh, then Mitchin defeats Niven for like the 3rd time in a row. Then Naomi versus Stratton is going to happen next week, supposedly. Naomi was not having it and was like, get out of my face, Tiffany Stratton. And in the main event, the Bloodline defeat Kevin Owens and Randy Orton with the help from Cody Rhodes. Believe it or not, accidental help again. Not a good night to be a babyface. After the match, KO shoves Cody a couple times, and Orton has to get in between them to end SmackDown, and that was a SmackDown review. I made that way. I tried to drag it on because it was like 3 sentences. But
man, they are struggling on SmackDown. They need to, I don't know, they need to advance this story of KO and Randy. One of them needs to turn heel immediately. There's part of me that thinks that maybe it should be Cody that turns heel, and that would make him 10 times more interesting as champion, especially if they're going to keep the belt on him. But I feel like if he's going to feud with The Rock, then he's got to be the babyface. So Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, or Kevin Owens rather, they need a heel turn. They need to get this story away from the Bloodline. They also need to move on from the Bloodline. I mean, it's been just wash, rinse, repeat with those 3 guys for the longest time now.
And the Bloodline, they're the tag team champions. Like, let them tag team. Same thing, Judgment Day. Tag team, like, why aren't these guys defending titles? You don't always have to have like
they are this week, but
yeah, finally. But and in a ladder match, which seems pretty awesome. But yeah, I just feel like we're just getting I mean, it's the same thing, right? Randy, Cody, KO, one of them opens the show. We get Nia Jax against Bayley. We have our Andrade versus Carmelo, even though it has been fun. And, Carmelo will get the edge this time and get a title shot. But it's like the same thing. And then we end with a Bloodline match. It's like the same 3 things every week on SmackDown. Not much to talk about. The only thing that I'm intrigued by is, which we'll get into predictions, is Bad Blood. Bad Blood, that match can go 700 different ways. It could be either side losing. Bloodline can lose, and the other ones can lose. You can have a Kevin Owens costing Cody the match. You can have a returning Paul Heyman or
Jimmy
Uso costing the other side the match. You can have free. I mean, there's like so many venues that you can go right now. You can have Cody become a heel and turn on Roman and leave him hanging against the Bloodline and move on. There are so many paths that you can take in this match that I'm like super intrigued by it. And that's the only thing I got out of this. And AJ Styles returning. Yeah. Other than that, I really don't like Nia Jax choking Tiffany Stratton. That's good. So I guess we're going to get a Tiffany Stratton babyface, which will the crowd like? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another weird, we were talking about it before and we'll go on with the show. We're turning a lot of people babyface right now, and a lot of people that I don't think should be babyfaces, but we'll let it cook. But once again, that Tiffany Stratton moment, is that hinting at something with the Nia Jax Bayley match? Naomi not really being that happy with Bayley. Is that hinting at something with Bad Blood?
Yeah, so it's all
SmackDown, even though it was the same thing, it did give us some positives, and it did get me excited for Bad Blood and what it can go so many routes. So at least there was good, hinting at things, a little misconception of sorts.
Yeah. It was, in that case, it was a good show. But when you don't think about it like that, this show was not. It's just repetitive. But it again, really I'm intrigued about AJ Styles because I don't see where he fits right now because he's not going to feud with Cody Rhodes again. LA Knight's busy with Carmelo and Andrade, and that's who AJ Styles feuded with before he feuded with Cody. So what is there for him to do? There's not a lot of options for him on SmackDown. for him to do. So I am curious to see what he does, how he does it, and does he cut a promo? Why are they hyping his return? Like, I feel like they've got to treat it like it's a big deal, and it is a big deal. But what's he gonna do? Is he gonna be a babyface this time too? Is he gonna go back to being a heel like he was last time he was there? So I'm intrigued by that, but I'm curious to see what he does.
Yeah, samesies. All right, let's get into Monday Night Raw, y'all. This was a pretty exciting, jam-packed show. And just so y'all know, this was the last 3-hour episode of Raw, possibly ever, or maybe just for the end of the year. I'm for it once again, and here's why. Because the things that they're going to cut out are things like this. Jey Uso opens the show taking 45 minutes to walk to the ring. We do not need Jey Uso walking to the ring for 45 minutes. He walked down the crowd looking straight ahead. Anyway, I'm doing the review. All right. He stutters through a promo, and then Braun Breaker walks out to congratulate him and say he's a good guy now. Daddy Dom takes a phone call from Finn Balor and says, it's all taken care of. Well, Finn tells him that. And Dom tells the rest of Judgment Day he's stuck somewhere. Boom, boom, boom. Xavier Woods defeats Rey, Deadbeat Dad Mysterio when he takes his mask off in a surprising turn. I got lost. Oh, there I go. Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler taunt Lyra Valkyria. Kofi Kingston gives Xavier Woods his IT title shot for next week. Weird that Kofi even had one. Karrion Kross was watching like a stalker in the background. Zoe Stark defeats Lyra Valkyria. After the match, Carter and Chance return to make the save, and Carter and Chance get in an argument with two giants. I mean, the Unholy Union. They look like giants. The Hell in the Cell is lowered for Punk and Drew face off. They each cut a pretty intense promo and are both ready to destroy each other. Miz and R-Truth versus AOP tonight. The Judgment Day defeat LWO. After the match, Finn and Liv basically call out Rhea and Priest. Cue Rhea Ripley, who brings out a shark cage, and Dom and says that she knows for a fact Dom is scared of being locked up in a cage. And Priest attacks the Judgment Day. Rhea throws Dom in the cage, but Liv makes the save, and Finn lays out Priest to end the segment. Sheamus will fight Butch at some time. I don't know. Chad Gable defeats Kofi Kingston with the help from Xavier Woods. It's a tough time to be a babyface right now. Bronson Reed wants Seth Rollins to return. I think he'll get his wish. The Wyatt Six have a video, and it looks like they'll be going after the Judgment Day next. Gunther out for a chat, and they talk, but he basically lays out Sami Zayn and finally says he will fight him, but it's next week for the title. AOP defeat Awesome Truth win. The Miz comes back to who he needs to be, and he turns on R-Truth.
Tough night for babyfaces.
It really is. Gunther and Braun Breaker meet backstage. Gee golly whiz, you're a badass. Thanks. And in the main event, Braun Strowman defeats Bronson Reed, wins. Seth freaking Rollins returns and gives Reed a curb stomp to close the show. And that's the Monday Night Raw review. Where do you want to start, Mr. 3 hours? Because if you can tell me right now you can't trim the fat on this thing to make it 2 hours, come on now.
I don't, but I feel like the WWE, like they've got to make it different. They've got to make Raw different from SmackDown, and SmackDown different than NXT. And so what SmackDown, they don't do those crazy entrances. They don't do those like backstage camera shots of people walking in. That's what makes Raw unique. So I don't think they're going to cut that stuff. I think they're going to cut the Sheamus and Butch stuff. They're going to cut the Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston stuff. They're going to cut Pure Fusion Collective talking backstage while Shayna Baszler shuffling a deck of cards for whatever reason with another wrestler in a motorcycle outfit, like another jacket. I think that's the stuff they're going to cut, and that's that. I hope that's not the case. And like the what we just saw, like I think they're going to cut a lot of that stuff, the recaps and everything, which they need to. We don't need to just spend 20 minutes discussing what we just saw 5 minutes ago. So I think they'll cut a lot of that. But I am worried they're going to try to make Raw unique. They're going to cut the stuff that the content that we're enjoying and focus more on those crazy entrances and the camera shots and that kind of the trickery. So that's just my 2 cents.
I hope they keep the entrances, just not the 35-minute Jey Uso.
Oh, I agree.
And let's start off with that. I know you probably want to talk about other things, but let's start off with Jey Uso. This is his first time being a solo champion. What'd you think? Nerves got him, or did you think he knocked it out of the park? What do you think happened here? I don't know if you liked it or not.
I thought it was a good promo up until Braun Breaker came out. And then that's when it really started going downhill. But I really, Jey Uso, he's not for everybody on the microphone, but I feel like he was talking about, he was dropping some hints about the bloodline. He mentioned Roman left me, my family left me, I was just a twin, but and everyone was saying yeet. So I feel like maybe there's some foreshadowing there with bloodline mentions, and we have Survivor Series coming up, so maybe there's some jealousy amongst the other members of the bloodline that he has a singles title and they don't. So maybe that's how they get involved. But I mean, I thought it was a good promo up until Braun Breaker came out, and then it was just confusing. Like Braun Breaker's turning heel or turning babyface. He's like, I respect the title and I respect you too, and let's hug it out. And it was just all this weird stuff. And then Braun turns to leave, and Jey Uso's like, hey, Braun. I was like, oh, okay, maybe Jey Uso's gonna do something interesting. But he's like, where my dogs at? And everyone's like, hur, hur, hur.
Yeah, barky bark bark.
And then that's it. That's the end of the segment. And I was like, what? So good promo up until Braun Breaker came out, and then I thought it went completely downhill. I'm
going to tell you this much. This show opened, and I was like, oh, crap. Raw's going to suck hardcore. I thought all of it was bad. I didn't like Jey Uso's son there. That was cute, yada, yada, yada. But other than that, here's my thing, and this is what I said before, and I'll make it quick. Jey Uso, I've loved since day one-ish. I've always loved him. Go back, check it. I don't need
just Muse.
Just Muse. But since he's turned into Yeet Jey Uso, I don't think it's worked. I know it's worked for his pockets. I know it's worked for his merch. I know it's worked for the crowd saying Yeet. But just like LA Knight, which I was hoping when he won the title, he would become a character, Jey Uso is not a character anymore. And I think that's why his promos, I thought he stuttered through the whole promo. I thought he was a hot mess. I think he just, when you're just focused on saying Yeet, I think he's more than that. I don't think LA Knight is. I think LA Knight is a guy and whatever. He steals everything from the Attitude Era. Good for him. But Jey Uso's better than that. And I think he can still be the Yeet. He can still Yeet it up. He can still say it every once in a while, but I think he needs to be main event Jey Uso. That's the best solo Jey Uso. And that's what we need, because I thought his promos were cut better back then. And I think if he went back to that, I think he could. That's my only thing. I thought this was a swing and a huge miss for Braun and Jey Uso. Luckily enough, Raw was saved with the rest of the night. But I don't know. It hurts me to say that too, because I love Jey Uso. It's just not. I do too. Working for me. It's working for kids. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I could see that, and I do like the new Intercontinental Championship. The addition of blue was, whoever came up with that, genius idea. Love it. It adds so much more to that title. But yeah, I could see. I feel like Jey Uso is really good at promos when he's scripted. But you can tell sometimes when he like deviates from the script a little bit, and maybe that's what caused some of the stuttering. He's like, "Oh crap, how do I get back on script? How do I steer this back in the right direction?"
He had long pauses, and the crowd didn't seem into it. He really took the crowd out of it, and that hurt Braun Breaker too, because then the crowd was like kind of on their hands at that moment.
But it was really just awkward with Braun's babyface run. Now, like, what are they doing? I don't get that.
Me neither. Another one. All right, what else you got? What do you want to talk about? Lots of stuff happened.
I want to talk about Seth Rollins.
All right.
In his long-awaited return, taking out Bronson Reed, in allowing Braun Strowman to be the last monster standing, in which was a fun main event. I mean, you talk about, like, I'm not a big fan of the big meaty men slapping meat matches. Like, usually I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of them. But this one was fantastic. The build for this has been incredible. I was happy. I loved it. Everything about it was great. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman deserve a lot of credit for what they've done over the last couple of months in the WWE. But I did not like the way Seth Rollins came back. Did not like the way he came back whatsoever. And the reason why is because they told us he was coming back on the show, and I didn't like it. I mean, they literally showed a footage of him at a football game. They haven't mentioned Seth Rollins at all over the last couple of weeks. And all of a sudden, Seth Rollins was at the Baltimore Ravens game this past Sunday. Now, granted, they did show the Miz, or they showed Liv Morgan and Drew McIntyre at a Colts game, and Sheamus at at a Notre Dame game. So they try to like mix it in. And I thought that was cool. And I would have been fine if like, okay, cool. Like whatever. They're just hyping up the NFL. I get it. I get what they're doing. But then the very next scene is a backstage interview with Bronson Reed, where Jackie Redmond, her first thing says, "Oh, great seeing Seth Rollins. Hopefully he comes back soon." Bronson, is that a distraction for you going into your match tonight? And then he cuts a promo about Seth Rollins. So I was like, great. So I expect Seth Rollins to come back tonight. Like they gave it away, and I didn't like it. If they hadn't have done that video package, or maybe if they did the video package and they didn't go right to Bronson Reed, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But when he came out, everyone was all surprised. Everyone was all, I mean, and I'm happy to see Seth Rollins. I'm glad he's back in WWE. I can't wait for this feud between him and Bronson Reed. It's going to be good stuff. I just didn't like the way that they telegraphed his return.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I would have liked it more, but what better way to push Seth Rollins' return and Bronson Reed? I know people are going to be like, well, Denton, he's going to lose to Seth Rollins. Yeah, of course. It's Seth freaking Rollins.
Is he?
But I think he is. But in the end, he's still going to get the rub he needs. What was Bronson Reed doing before he attacked Seth Rollins?
Yeah.
And what is he doing now? 100%. And he's going to dominate Seth. He's going to put it to him, and Seth will find a way to win. It'll make Bronson Reed look like a monster. He'll move on and possibly now start fighting for secondary titles, and Seth will move on to the bid. This is a win-win for everyone. And Braun Strowman got to get the win that he needs as well, because Braun Strowman's been a hot mess always since he's come back. So I liked it. And I did think it did kind of, the one other thing I didn't like too, because they did hint at it, but then they even showed him running down the ring and he wasn't even wearing a hoodie. They were like, nah, fam, you don't need a hoodie. Just run out. Everyone knows. They showed him like,
who
running,
is that?
I was like,
yeah.
At least,
Joe Tessitore wasn't. Yeah, at least Tessitore wasn't like, who is that? No, who is that? Like, at least they didn't play that crap. But and then the way I feel like they ran out of time too, because it just ended. Like I didn't even know that the ref was counting when Seth Rollins did the curb stomp, and then like Braun Strowman stands up and the ref rings the bell. I'm like, wait, what? And like he beat the count, and then the show ends, and I was like, okay, well, someone like I thought Braun Strowman deserved a little bit more of pageantry celebration for what he just put himself through, but they were just like, okay, he beat the count. See you next week, people. Bye. And that was how the show ended, and it was a good show, good match. But the ending felt rushed, and I didn't like Seth's return. Yeah.
I mean, I did like it though. So I get that it was rushed, but I'm on the opposite side. I liked it. I liked seeing Seth. I thought he looked good. And like I said, I think
he didn't wear
is bright.
Yeah, he didn't have a kinky outfit on. He looked like it. Yeah, he looked sharp. So hopefully they keep that going, because the outfit's got a little too distracting for me.
I agree. One thing I want to talk about is Judgment Day, and just the fact of what was the phone call. Is it something or is it not? Was that just Finn Balor for later tonight? Because to me, it seemed like Finn and Dom and Liv are going another route. I mean, why would he say the only reason why is because he said, oh, he's stuck somewhere. But he literally did not say that. He said it's all taken care of. Is that something?
And then he showed up later.
Yeah. Do you have something on that? Does that have to do with the Wyatt Six? Because I think 100% the Wyatt Six is going after Judgment Day next, which is disappointing because that means they'll win. But I mean,
I think
they did. True, Wes. Yeah,
I don't know. It was.
What do you think of the call?
That whole thing was weird. I have a theory, but I want to save it for predictions because I think it has something to do with bad blood. But
okay.
But yeah, I think there's something to the call, but we'll save it for predictions.
All right.
I have a whole thing mapped out in my head.
All right. Miz turns heel.
Again. What for you?
I love it. You're not for it?
No, I'm all for it, but it's just like you talk about like he's getting the Big Show rub right now where he turns babyface, turns heel, turns babyface, turns heel, turns babyface, turns heel. But no, I'm 100% for
He needs to be a heel.
Yeah, it wasn't working. He's been doing the same thing over and over. He keeps losing. So this will be fresh. Give R-Truth something to do that's a little not that it's not entertaining, but hopefully it turns R-Truth a little bit more serious as well. So it's not everything is so. And I'm curious about Karrion Kross's involvement as well. So does he join Karrion Kross? He was hovering over Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston backstage too. So it makes me wonder, like, what's going on there? Is he trying to recruit the Miz? Is the Miz gonna join him? So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Miz is just one of the greatest heels of all time. I would say he's top 5 heels of all time. So for Miz to do anything other than just be left with R-Truth, this was needed. I love it. And what better way to turn heel? The timing makes no sense, though. I thought it did, because I was just about to say it. Thank you, Wes. That R-Truth is like the most loved person in the WWE. And right now he is, and he just came back from being destroyed. And what happens? His best friend kicks him in the face and turns on him. So I love it. And I don't know if you saw it, but there's like this backstage segment where he says like, "Oh, I guess the Miz thought I was still in the Judgment Day," which was funny that he like, that's why the Miz attacked him, like saying that he didn't turn heel. So that'll get even better, because I think that's going to lead to R-Truth being like, "Hey, Miz, what's up?" And Miz like beating the snot out of him. And it'll be like beating the snot out of somebody who doesn't want to get the snot beat out of him. And there's no better way to become. Yep. There's no better way of becoming evil than beating somebody up who doesn't want to get beat up. That makes you such a disgusting person. And I think that's what they're going to go with the Miz, with R-Truth pleading and saying no, and the Miz just beating the snot out of him. I think it's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. I think Miz needs to go full heel. I think they messed up, though, because they put him on MizTV on NXT.
Yeah,
and
I was going to talk about that.
And they didn't let him talk, but he got booed off that damn building. But they wouldn't let him talk for that reason, because I think they were like, well, whoops, now he can't really say anything because we want to wait.
Yeah.
So he just kind of didn't talk. But
he talked, but he didn't say anything. He was like, this match is, we're all excited about the NXT championship match, and we're excited about Obafemi and Tony D. It's going to be awesome. And I was like, that's where they messed up to me, was putting him on MizTV. They should have had a way for him to like be the heel and talk his way out of it. Like, I was going to do MizTV tonight, but I'm too good for NXT. Just like I'm too good for R-Truth, and like leave or something. I don't know. But
I think they're saving it for Raw.
Yeah, which they should. But yeah, again, 2 separate universes with NXT and WWE, which drives me crazy. But
all right, anything else? I'm sure there's one more thing.
Yeah, I want to talk. If we were doing highs and lows right now, I would be very low on Sami Zayn versus Gunther taking place on Monday Night Raw instead of Bad Blood. I feel like this match, this rivalry, this feud has been so good and so compelling. And you know, I've said before that I think Gunther's reign is way more interesting than Cody's reign, and this is another example as to why. The promos that these guys have been putting forth have been fantastic. Sami Zayn beat Gunther at WrestleMania, and you give, and Gunther's embarrassed that he lost to him, that he had to look his father in the eye and say, "I lost to Sami Zayn of all people." You know, like it's just been such good stuff, and it's going to be on Monday Night Raw next week. Now, anything can happen, as we saw with Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship, but Gunther's not dropping the title. Now, if it was at Bad Blood, maybe there'd be a chance, but he's not dropping the title on Monday Night Raw. And I don't know. I feel like this story and this build, it deserves, you can't tell me you can't squeeze in another match at Bad Blood. How you have 5 matches on the card. You can't put this one, make it 6 on the card. Talk about guys who have bad blood with each other. Sami Zayn ended Gunther's Intercontinental Championship reign. And now Gunther's the world champion, and Sami Zayn wants that. Like, these guys do not like each other. Put them on the card at Bad Blood. But either way, everything they've been doing is fantastic. I'm just criticizing the booking and when the match is taking place.
Well, and the promos were fantastic between both guys. It was great. Sami said a lot of good things. Gunther said, I made a TikTok about how Gunther is like the most bland and boring speaker of all time, but yet it works quickly. I don't even understand how. Everything he does is robotic, but it works. His in-ring ability, robotic, but it's perfect. His promos, robotic, but it's I don't get it. I just know I love it. But with that said, I agree. This is the only man to ever defeat Gunther, basically, in WWE, and you're making it on Monday Night Raw. 2 theories, right? It didn't have to happen at Bad Blood. It could happen at the next PLA. 2 theories. 1, Gunther's allergic to PLEs. Or 2, he signed some kind of contract where he doesn't wrestle on PLEs. This dude wrestles, what, twice ever on a PLE?
Yeah,
WrestleMania and one other, like...
WrestleMania, King of the Ring, and SummerSlam.
And he has...
Or Bash in Berlin.
And he's had feuds. Great feuds. That should be on PLEs, and they're not on it. I don't know what's going on, but obviously Gunther is not. Yeah, it is what it is. All right. Anything else? You ready for some NXT?
Let's get into NXT, because I got some thoughts there too.
All right. NXT has debuted on the CW, ladies and gentlemen. And who else is going to appear? The GOAT is out to open up the first ever NXT. He announces there is going to be new NXT titles for all or just the two. I don't know.
I think
Just
all.
the two. I don't know. Is it all?
Well, they have the new logo, so it has to be.
Yeah. Kalani James' title looked different. I think it was like a different. Either way, new titles on the CW, and of course, Triple H has to show up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trips. I'm glad you were there. Fantastic. All right. So Roxanne Perez defeats Giulia with the help from a returning and stunning, oh my, Cora Jade. Holy guacamole. CM Punk gives Lexus King advice. Wes Lee defeats Zachary Wentz in a street fight. MizTV with heel Miz and guest Tony D and Oba Femi. Basically, Oba says he's unbeatable and Tony D says he's not. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez seem to be friends again. Fatal Influence defeat Jada Parker and Lola Vice. They then call out Kalani Jordan, but get Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill instead, who lay them out. Crowd loved it. Javon Evans is excited and ready for Randy Orton next week. I don't know. A video of women walking down a road with a sign that says 1027 is shown. And in the main event, Trick Williams defeats Ethan Page in a 12-minute match to win the NXT title. And after the match, while Trick Williams is legitimately celebrating, CM Punk gives Ethan Page a GTS to close the show, and that's the NXT review. I'm assuming you want to start there, huh?
Yeah, I'm happy for Trick Williams. I mean, the man is 2-time NXT champion. But what that ending, man, that ending should have been Trick's moment, not CM Punk GTSing Ethan Page for whatever reason too. And also, I gotta say this too. This is a pet peeve of mine when wrestlers kick out of finishers, but Ethan Page hit the GTS on Trick Williams in front of CM Punk, and Trick Williams kicked out at 2. How is that like CM Punk's got to be like, dude, no, you can't kick out of that. Like that's his own move. Huh? Yeah, it's his own move. And yet he kicked out at 2. And it makes the finisher less, I don't know, less finishy, I guess. But I don't know. But that's just minor things. But no, the match was great. I'm happy for Trick. But I didn't understand the CM Punk thing. And I feel like it was a missed opportunity to not have Drew McIntyre come out and beat up CM Punk going into Bad Blood. Like keep that feud going. Have Drew McIntyre show up out of the blue. Beat up CM Punk, get some of that Chicago heat on McIntyre as they go into Bad Blood this Saturday, where, just imagine more hype for that match coming up at Hell in a Cell instead of CM Punk hitting a GTS for whatever reason on Ethan Page.
It's funny. I disagree with that quote, actually. We didn't even talk about it. I just realized, but that promo face off between Punk and Drew McIntyre, I thought was perfect. They are about to wrestle in a Hell in a Cell. They do not need to touch. They are about to just go to war with each other.
Did you notice that?
Well, that's for cameras, like, I think.
Hole in a soul, hole in a coal. I don't know. It was just there's a lot of.
I think it's for camera work, so they can put the camera in it.
But also,
either way,
why was the cell there? I don't understand that.
To make it more impactful. I don't know. There's nothing worse than going to a live event with a cage match because you can't see nothing. It's basically pointless.
And now you're gonna have a shark cage and a Hell in a Cell that you have to tend to. So, but
anyway, I disagree with that. I don't think he should have came. I think CM Punk was legitimately there just to get people in seats in Chicago. And the same thing with Randy Orton. And they had to give him something. He didn't really play any figure. And I agree with you on that move. If I was Punk, I'd have been like, nah, I ain't counting. You're not going to do my move in front of me. And he should have been like, count. And then he'd been like, no, count. You said you're going to be fair. And then he should have won too. And then he kicked out. At least he gave it like some time.
It takes the effect out of it. Yeah.
But my thing is that this, and I just posted a TikTok, this had 4 matches. They obviously ran out of time. And how do you run out of time with 4 matches? Because that match, the main event was 12 minutes and it was rushed. The match was off. I didn't like it. I thought this was the only real downfall of this NXT card. And then Trick just like won out of nowhere. It wasn't even like, it was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And then I'm fine with Punk hitting Page with it. But once again, you let Trick have his moment, like Stone Cold did at WrestleMania when Mike Tyson knocked out Shawn. Then once he's done celebrating, then you have like Ethan Page get up and then get like that. And then it's like a double celebration. But instead, I think they had no time. So they were like, go, go, go. And so the camera was like focused on Trick, like, yay, I won. And then it was like, whoop. Like right when he hit the turnbuckle, it was like, nah, fam. And Punk does that. And why? Are we getting Ethan Page moving to the main show and feuding with CM Punk after Drew? Yes, if not, there was no point. I'd be good with that, but no point to do it. And I just have to say, props to Ethan Page. Fantastic run as champion. I give him so much credit because I thought he did a phenomenal job as a heel champion. What was the point? Trick Williams didn't grow at all. What did Trick Williams do from when he lost it to winning it?
Yeah.
Nothing. What was the point of this? Why did we have him lose to just get it right back? I'm all for Trick being the champ, but what did Ethan Page could have got the same heat not being champion? I don't understand what the point of all this was. It felt really stupid to me.
Yeah, I don't understand the trajectory either. I don't get like because he lost to Butch or Pete Dunne in between this time, and he lost to Ethan Page a couple of it was just all this stuff, and I don't understand why they did it this way. But the only thing I could see is he won it in an anticlimactic way because he lost it in an anticlimactic way. So maybe there's that's like a weird way of telling a story. I don't really know because he lost it in that 4-way match that he didn't even get pinned, and it was just random. He like pinned Javion Evans or something, and then this time he loses it randomly on like a trick kick that just all of a sudden it ended. But I don't know. It did feel a little rushed, but I am happy that Trick Williams is champion again. I hope that this time stop with these shenanigans. Let him have a good lengthy run with it, and let's see how he is as champion on a major broadcast network while they're traveling. So that's going to be the real mark. So I'm excited for it. I did want to talk about just the CW network in general because like I haven't watched a show on the CW network in like maybe since One Tree Hill aired back in like the late 90s.
You watched One Tree Hill. Yeah, continue.
It was a basketball show, man. It was
totes.
Yeah. But and plus it was in North Carolina, so of course.
It was a good show. I'm giving you grief. Go.
Chad Michael Murray is dreamy, but
still is actually. Yeah,
he's still got it going on. But so is Sophia Bush, man. Whew.
Well,
and Hillary Burton, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife. He's a lucky man. Anyway, but I could go on and on about that. But that channel is very odd now. Like I was watching it, and I've never. It's a local channel here for me. So I got a lot of like Friday Night Football, commercials for Friday night rivals, and it's like this week it's this school versus this school, and a lot of church commercials for Hayes Barton Baptist Church on Sunday. We're going to talk about the fourth Sunday of Pentecost, and it was just like, what is going on? Like, I feel the channel itself feels very low budget, but it kind of felt out of place with WWE being there.
I agree, and mine was on KTLA. Can't wait for the One Tree Hill spinoff.
Hey, they're bringing One Tree Hill back with I don't know if the original cast is going to be in it, but they're like bringing it back. I'm excited for it.
You know what's funny that Patrick said that? We have talked about it, and I almost want to do it, but I posted recently like a How I Met Your Mother TikTok, and I had 2 people write me going like, "Dude, you should do a podcast about that." So I would totally be down to do another do a How I Met Your Mother podcast where we just like watch each episode and just like discuss and talk and like episode by episode.
Naked Man.
Oh gosh,
9 out of 10.
I won't tell you. If I've ever tried it, but I also felt like it felt low rent. KTLA out here is like Channel 5 or something. I didn't even know the CW turned into KTLA. They used to be 2 different. I don't know what was going on, but it did feel low rent. But I want to talk really quick because I know we got to move on to predictions. I like the opening match. I know a lot of people complained about it, but for one, Cora Jade on my screen, yes, please. I was very excited in multiple ways. And then her return was awesome. I like that she's going to feud with
she was in a hoodie, made up for Seth Rollins not being
made up for Seth Rollins. That's what I mean. They're always in a hoodie, but Seth was like, nah. But Roxanne and her being friends, I loved it. I love that Cora said, like, well, I like the new you, which was perfect. She's a heel now. And I don't think it made Giulia look weak at all. I'm about to post a TikTok about it, but Giulia looks strong. The American audience has not really seen her. This was a great way to showcase her. She didn't need to win. She was cheated out to win. So she looks great doing it. Roxanne's still your champ. And now we got a baby facing with Cora Jade. And now Stephanie's next up against Roxanne. I thought it was done perfectly. Great way to open the show. I loved it. And I thought the match was awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought everything about this match was a good way to open and start off the CW era by showing these two women. I thought the right person won. We're not quite ready for a Giulia NXT Women's Championship run just yet. I think it'll come, but Roxanne Perez is the perfect women's champion right now, and there's a lot of ways that her story can continue with Cora Jade, with Stephanie Vacker coming up next. So there's a lot of fun stuff on the horizon for Roxanne. So it was the right decision for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. You ready? It's time, right? So while you're queuing up our music, let me just say, once again, if you want to check out our last podcast we did a Mr. McMahon documentary review of all 6 episodes. So check that out if you haven't. It's on and up right now. Also, with the blood predictions, we will be doing a live watch along on Saturday. So also tune in, check that out. I think our watch alongs are super fun. They're awesome, interactive. We do a good time. You guys are awesome. So let's do it. But let's get into it, my man.
Here we go. We know what time it is.
Heck yeah.
Prediction time. Before it ever happens, it's a prediction. Lean in close, take notes, listen. Cause they about to point it out quickly. All the things that you didn't see is getting called like plays at the line of scrimmage. You can take it to the bank, the dudes ain't tripping. They've been seeing what's coming for a good minute. It's prediction time, yeah, let's get it.
All right. Prediction time, Bad Blood. I'm going to try to do it in the order I think. Are you ready? I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but all right. Let's start. Oh, you already knew. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Who do you think is winning?
It depends on where this, like what they have coming on. Like if The Rock comes back and he does something with Cody to tease for Survivor Series, then this is going to close the show. But this match can go so many different ways. I honestly think it's got to be Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. They have to pin Cody Rhodes. And it should be Solo pinning Cody Rhodes again. And this way, otherwise, what's the point of Bloodline versus Bloodline if that's even the direction they're going in for Survivor Series? But if that is the case, what's the point if Roman and Cody beat them single-handedly? And this is Jacob Fatu's debut match. He needs to look like a star. So actually, I think Jacob Fatu should be the one to pin Cody Rhodes, but we get Jacob Fatu and Solo winning.
All right. Good pick. I had Roman and Cody originally, but I'm not going to stick with it. I'm going Solo and Jacob Fatu, and here it is. I'm going with 2 things happening. You ready? Number 1, this is why it's opening the show too, because you want to open up big. Kevin Owens is going to cost Cody. He's turning on him to open it up. KO is going to cost Cody. I don't care who pins. I think it should be Jacob Fatu, but either way. And I think after they pin Cody, Cody's going to roll out, leave Roman alone because Roman didn't take the L. Roman's going to start getting his butt kicked by the Bloodline when a returning Jimmy Uso makes the save. And that is the build to Survivor Series. And now it has taken Cody Rhodes out of the equation. Cody Rhodes is now no longer. That's the best way to do it, man. Cheat it out. Now he's going to move on to KO. We're done with that. And the Bloodline can now move on to Bloodline versus Bloodline. That's my prediction. And I'm saying KO, fact.
If KO turns and helps Solo, does he acknowledge Solo as his tribal chief when he walks out?
Nope. Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do. He is like, and I think they hinted at it with Cody costing him the match this past Friday. Yeah. So
I think I could see that also being Randy Orton, because Randy Orton kind of set Cody up in that whole thing too, because he was like, "Hey, I'll tell KO that I told you to come out if the Tongans come out," and then he forgot to do so. So I can see Randy Orton doing that exact same thing and costing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a good pick.
Yeah, possibly. All right. After this, I think I'm going to go Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. I think we're going to open with this, and why we'll see. But who do you got, Priest? Finn? It was a wonky. My predictions of who gets the comeuppance, they were like split.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
This one's hard. I feel like the build for this is it's been missed. The World Heavyweight Championship should still be on Damian Priest, and this match should be for the World Heavyweight title. As much as I love Gunther, he should still Damian Priest should still be the champion, because I feel like something's missing in the build for this, and it's that title. But I'm gonna go Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor's gonna get the win here, and I think this feud's gonna continue.
All right, I want to go Finn Balor. Finn Balor has to win. He has to. But I'm gonna say he's not. I have to go with I always say whoever gets the comeuppance. Rhea got the comeuppance on Liv Morgan. At the same time, Finn got the comeuppance on Damian Priest. So you can see where my predictions are going. And I truly think, I don't think we can do back-to-back things. So Wyatt Six can't play on the music or something to help Priest. But Priest needs this win too, man. Damian Priest is who gives a rat's about Priest and Rhea Ripley right now? I said it before. As soon as you turn them babyface, they're gonna fail, and they have. The crowd didn't even care when he was in the ring. I don't think people what's Priest been doing. So I think Priest will win. Hopefully, move on. Finn loses, and then we'll lead on to Judgment Day doing something else. I want Finn to win. I think he should win. I just have to go. If he got the comeuppance, it has to be him losing at. Because then what does that really do for Damian Priest? He got beat up and then beat. I don't know. Yeah, so there you go. And I truly think that's going to be followed up with we're going to do Bayley versus Nia Jax. Let's go. The first of the many women's title matches, or this is the women's championship. And Nia Jax versus Bayley. I think this is going to be a swerve show, homie. I know last time I predicted a swerve show, it backfired, but who do you got? Nia Jax, Bayley, another match that can go many of ways.
Okay, so I made a theory about this a few weeks ago on this podcast, I think it was, but I think Nia Jax is going to retain, and Charlotte Flair is going to come back. And we're not going to get a Tiffany Stratton cash in just yet, but we're going to get Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair, because Nia Jax is going around pretending that she's the queen of the WWE because she won Queen of the Ring. She's getting a patient. She's getting her crowning moment, and she's going to beat Bayley. And Charlotte Flair is going to come back because her gimmick is the queen. So we're going to get queen versus queen at either Saudi or Survivor Series. But Charlotte Flair is going to make an appearance. Atlanta's back from her city of Charlotte, North Carolina. It makes sense. So yeah, Charlotte Flair is going to come out. We're going to get Nia versus Charlotte Flair. And then maybe Charlotte Flair beats Nia and Tiffany Stratton cashes in then.
All right. So you got Nia Jax. I got Nia Jax as well. So that's 2 for 2. I'm going a polar opposite. You got Charlotte Flair returning. I have the long-awaited and needed Naomi turn. I think Naomi is going to cost Bayley on purpose. She needs it. All this girl does is lose. Ever since she's come back, she's more talented than that. She turns on Bayley, which we finally are done with Nia Jax against Bayley and Naomi. They move on. I do not think we get a turn yet or a cash in yet on Tiffany Stratton. And I think Nia Jax continues to abuse Tiffany Stratton until it is time for that cash in. It could be against Charlotte Flair. I do like that, but I think we get Naomi.
That way it keeps her heel.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing. If she cashes in on Nia, she's got to be a babyface. And I don't think the crowd will accept her as a babyface.
I think they're turning her, dude. You'll see. I think they're going to do the same thing. Have Jax beat up on her.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, I think we're getting back-to-back women title matches with my prediction. So we got Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Who you got?
All right. This is where I told you I had a.
This is where you think you have it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I think the call from Finn to Dom was because he said like the plan's in play, or plans in motion, whatever it was. I think Raquel Rodriguez is going to be. She's going to come back, and she's going to be the reason that Liv Morgan retains, because her and Liv were tag team partners, and so I think she's going to be the reason. I think her and Rhea Ripley were feuding at one point too when Rhea was champion. So I think Raquel Rodriguez is going to come back, cost Rhea Ripley the match. Liv Morgan's going to retain. She's going to be a part of the Judgment Day, and this is going to lead to maybe it's Crown Jewel or Survivor Series, a tag team match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. Because who did Becky lose?
She's in AEW, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. Who did Becky Lynch lose the title to? Liv Morgan, because of Dirty Dom. And who did Rhea Ripley beat at WrestleMania? Becky Lynch. So I think they're gonna do something like that. So I think Raquel Rodriguez is gonna help Liv Morgan retain, and because otherwise, what's next. I mean, this feud's got. I know everyone's saying it's going to end, and I don't disagree that it should end, but I don't think it will because there's nobody else. Like, who else is there on the Raw brand to feud with Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, and what do you do with Liv and Dom once they end? But yeah, I like your prediction. I like it. I'm not going to try to go any hardcore because I don't have anything in my brain. All I know is that Liv Morgan wins the end. Yeah. They're not giving it back to Rhea yet.
And I don't think the call was to. I don't think the call was to break up the Judgment Day or keep JD or Carlito out of the group or I don't think it was to do anything like that. I just think they want it close to the chest and keep it as secret as possible.
I think that's a nice call because you have to have Liv win somehow by cheating, and so that's a good way of cheating since Dom will be in the Shark Tank. So good call. All right, main event time. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. To end it all, Hell in a Cell. Who do you got, and why is it obvious?
Yeah, it's got to be CM Punk. As much as I want to see Drew McIntyre take the win because I feel like he has carried this feud much more than CM Punk has. He's been on just about every single Raw, and he even showed up on SmackDown a couple of times, and he's just been a great troll and fantastic at everything he's done. I actually hate to see this feud end, even though it's been going on since January. But CM Punk's going to take the win, and CM Punk's going to move on to other things, and Drew McIntyre is probably going to take some much-needed time away from WWE. But I expect blood to be in this match. I expect this to be as violent as a rated PG Hell in a Cell match can give us. But I think there'll be a lot of blood.
Yeah, Punk wins for sure, and I think it will be very AEW. I think we're not going to have syringes, but it's going to be bloody, hardcore. I'm wondering if they go to the top of the cage. I'm intrigued by that to see if they'll go up there. But Punk wins, moves on. Drew, I think, takes
stay healthy. Punk
comes back.
Stay healthy.
Yeah,
do not
Punk
get
will be
hurt.
moving on to I think Punk will be moving on to some championship. So after this, we'll see where he goes.
He's the match with Gunther, so who knows?
All right, that's our bad blood prediction time. Why didn't they have Taylor Swift do that song?
Missed opportunity, man.
It also probably would have cost them $8 billion. Taylor Swift likes her money. All right, let's end this thing. Least valuable dude or dudette and most valuable dude or dudette. Dude. All right, let's start. Who is Ryan's least valuable dude of the week of WWE?
Oh, man. So I'm going to go to SmackDown, and I'm going to go to the women's division. I'm trying to get the banner pulled up real quick, but where is it? But I'm going to go to SmackDown. I'm going to go to the women's division, and it's none other than Naomi. Naomi is my LVD of the week. I love Naomi. I think this is more of a testament to her booking more so than anything. Just because, like, when she came back, I mean, I think there were she came back at the Rumble. There were a lot of high expectations for her, and she has had great matches and she's done fantastic things, but they just don't want to. It just feels like they don't want to strap the rocket to her back and give her the push. And then when they did this match on SmackDown where Bayley and Naomi teamed up against Nia and Tiffany, and whoever got pinned or whoever got the pin got to wrestle Nia Jax at Bad Blood, and whoever didn't had to leave SmackDown. But they never really resolved that. And then I thought maybe for sure it's going to lead to a triple threat between Bayley and Naomi. But no, they had a match between Bayley and Naomi. The winner wrestles Nia Jax, and Naomi lost, and she lost clean. And it was maybe it is the beginning of a heel turn for her, and I think it's much needed at this time. But ever since she came back, man, I feel like it's been start and stop booking with her. And, I feel like her and Sasha Banks will always be kind of lumped together. And you can say what you want about how Mercedes is booked in AEW. At least they're treating her like a star and they're pushing her, where I feel like the WWE should do the same thing to Naomi, but I just don't feel like they ever will. So I'm going to say Naomi's my LVD of this week, and hopefully she turns it around and becomes my MVD next week with a good heel turn.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. That's a good pick, and I think that's why she's going to turn heel, because I think they've done nothing with her, and she needs that book. My least valuable dude is going to be Ethan Page, and I know that's sad to say, but I just think it was this bad way to end his phenomenal title reign, and that's why I pick him as the least valuable dude. Not because of him, because I think his reign was phenomenal, but the way they did him and then getting like GTS like randomly in the middle of Trixel, the lights were still like off while confetti was falling. It was just really dumb. He lost out of nowhere. You're going to tell me, I hate kicking out a finisher, but you're going to tell me every champion who loses has to be put into a finisher 15 times, but Ethan Page gets one. It was just really, really bad booking. I didn't like it.
Not even his,
and I feel bad for him.
Was that even his finisher, or was that just his, it was like the trick kick, wasn't it?
Either. Yeah, unless he changed it. But either way, LVD. Sorry, Ethan Page.
Yeah, no, that's a solid pick. Solid pick.
Let's end on that positive. Most valuable. Who you got?
I was gonna go Trick Williams, but I'm gonna change it on the fly, game time decision. But I'm changing it to Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, because those guys literally tore the ring down in the ring. It was a fantastic match, and these guys have been some of the most entertaining parts of Monday Night Raw over the last few months. The build for this has been great. You know, these are two guys that coming into the year I was not excited about. Braun Strowman returned, I think it was after WrestleMania, and I was like, oh yay, yippee, he's back. But you know, he's great. He's in phenomenal shape. He's looking fantastic in the ring. Bronson Reed was another guy that has been pushed, and then he gets a U.S. title shot and loses, Intercontinental title match and loses. He was just kind of the lovable loser on the Raw brand, and then he did the thing to Seth Rollins. We all know what he did, and he became a star overnight. And now he is, he's one of the best things going. Both of these guys deserve a lot of kudos and praise for that match. That match was great. I mean, it was entertaining as all hell. It was a fantastic and well done match. And I get Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman. I don't care that Braun Strowman got the win and Bronson Reed took a loss. Both of those guys were MVDs.
Great pick. I fully agree with you, and I like that, and I like everything you said. I think they deserve it. And this is the most I've ever enjoyed Braun Strowman. I've never been a Braun Strowman fan. Even when he was in the Wyatt family, I thought he was odd. But
I liked him for a minute when he was flipping
maybe.
But other than that, other than that, I stopped liking him.
But this is the best I think he's been. I'm digging it. Been all for it for right now. So yeah. Let's go with mine, and it's gonna shock you. I'm gonna go because I was gonna go Trick Williams too, and I decided not to, just because the way the match was. I'm gonna go with the Miz. And only because I really, really think, just like Naomi, I think the Miz needed this. I think he needed a heel turn. He's become stale. He's become a joke. And he's better than that. The Miz a Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer, y'all. And he's just doing nothing all the time. I'm excited for the Miz's heel turn. And like I said, I think he's going to go heel. I'm hoping he goes MJF heel, which he has been, because MJF is basically a ripoff of the Miz. You heard it here. So I'm all for it.
Punk said it first, but yeah.
That's true. But I'm all for
it. Famous Miz. Yeah.
Yes. But I'm all for it. I'm excited to see it. And I think the Miz is the most valuable dude of the week for me.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. And there were a lot of options from Raw. You could have said Sami Zayn, you could have said Gunther, you could have said Punk and McIntyre, but I'm Seth Rollins coming back. But the Miz turning heel, it's good stuff. And it needed to happen. Xavier Woods needs to turn as well. I mean, there's a lot of people turning babyface awkwardly, which we talked about, but a lot of also heel turns coming up on the horizon too, hopefully. So Naomi being one, the Miz being the other one. Good stuff.
I agree. All right. Two dudes with attitudes. That's the WWE Week of Review. Don't forget, this Saturday, we will be doing a live watch along for Bad Blood. So tune into it. It should be a good time. 5 good matches on the card. All of them can kind of go either way for the most part. And tune into our Friday AEW episode where we'll cover all things Rampage, Collision, and a hyped up 5th anniversary episode of Dynamite. I'm assuming that show has to be good.
We got Okada versus Bryan Danielson for the first 20 minutes. The Continental title's on the line, but the whole match, the world title's on the line. So,
is that supposed to make it intriguing to the 20-minute? He loves time limit. It's weird. Like I said, there's a couple things wonky, and then we also got Hangman Page versus Juice Rock.
Yeah,
cool. Where the hell did that come from? But
come on,
either way,
Jay White.
Is that why? We'll see. But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, look forward to that. As always, don't forget to watch back on our Mr. McMahon docu-series review as well, where we reviewed all 1 through 6 episodes. With that said, if you want to hear me, I post on TikTok constantly, Instagram, other social medias. They're all at HBD Denton. Check out the Heartbreak Dude there. And with me, as always, is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go hit me up on all the social platforms. Hit us up on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Hit us up on X at 2 Dudes PC. Keep subscribing to the YouTube. We're blown. That feels to be our sweet spot right now. We're blowing up there. 1,260 followers. Let's keep that number going up. We're back on Twitch now because we're back being live. So follow us there if you're seeing this. Hi guys, if you're watching us, and then
hi guys,
and then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify. Thank you for all the love and support. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Tell everyone about your favorite 2 dudes on the internet that talk pro wrestling. So this is gonna be our year, man. We're blowing up this year. We're gonna do this.
Sir. 2 dudes Wolfpack, we out.
It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton. They here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.